So there's a lot more kind of word of mouth challenges and things that I'd never considered. I think 5 of them had emailed me to say, I'm sorry, Kane, if I had a microphone, I'd drop it. And I got carried away with a thing, and I thought, oh my God, Language for Life, this is going to be our thing.
This is Teacher Talk.
Oh, that's a nice title, isn't it?
Welcome back to another episode of Teacher Talk. So, we learnt last episode that obviously you had to move out to Lisbon. And obviously you went to Coimbra, I believe.
Correct.
We're in Coimbra now. What went on?
Yeah, so as I mentioned in the previous episode, I'd obviously done some scouting, so I knew where I was going. But again, you can't book a place before you go. You still have to go view it. You have to meet the landlord or whatever. So I still went to Coimbra in sort of like, I think it was like August, September that year, still not having anything concrete. Booked an Airbnb, like again, similar thing that I've done in the past, booking an Airbnb for a week or two. And then once you're there, checking all the websites and then, getting some viewings. I think what I find in the past with a lot of people who are looking for apartments, they want perfection. They've got an endless checklist. I want these 20 things. I want this big balcony and I want this thing and that thing and this thing. Whereas for me, I'm pretty happy to settle if I don't have all of the boxes ticked. So I viewed a couple of places and just one of them, it just sort of stood out. I just thought, yeah, this is nice. The landlord seems really cool. So again, I found a place really, really quickly and moved in again after about 2 weeks. Yeah, I'd been there 2 weeks. I found a place, moved in, all really quickly.
And then was that central Coimbra?
Right in the heart of Coimbra, right in the centre. In a place,
nice.
The area is called the Baixa, which literally means downtown. So it was right in the heart. Beautiful street, beautiful part of Coimbra.
Oh, no, lovely. Mm-hmm. And obviously when you went to Lisbon, it was in the height of COVID, pretty much. So obviously you wasn't able to get out, make connections, things like that. Was you able to do that here at Coimbra?
Yeah, I was. And in previous countries, I don't know how much people can relate to this, but like when I was in Italy, I only wanted to spend time with Italians. When I was in Vietnam, just Vietnamese people. But because of, how tricky COVID was, and it changed people's mentalities, let's be honest. I think for everybody, for all cultures. And I just thought, why do I just only need to meet Portuguese people? So this time I was like, why not meet other Brits and other foreigners who have decided to move to Portugal? Because we can connect through that, right? So yeah, I was on like sort of these Facebook groups and, meetup groups and whatever. And yeah, just starting to meet people really, really quickly, just not, being so standoffish like I had been in the past. It's like just meet people and just get out there and I did that really quickly.
And what did you actually go and do with those? What kind of things?
It was cool because I did all the touristy stuff. So there's on these groups you have people like who are there for a weekend and they want recommendations. You've got some people who live there and can help people give recommendations. So yeah, it was a mixture of people that I was meeting and there was always something happening, so we're going to this museum, we're going to go and see the university because Coimbra is famous for its university. It's like, it's almost 1,000 years old. So you can imagine the history of the city. So it was really cool to do all of that stuff in the first sort of month or two, really go and do the touristy stuff, really get to see the city, explore the city, because quite often what happens when you live in a city, you stop doing that. You forget to do that stuff, which is really sad. But again, everybody does that. So yeah, I kind of boxed all that off really early on and got a really good feel for the city. And I just knew that I'd made the right choice. I was like, I really like this place. It's really, really cool.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How did it feel? Did it actually feel like obviously again, different from Lisbon, and feel like you made a better choice kind of thing?
Yeah.
Settled in easier.
No, it absolutely did. It absolutely did. Because would I have gone and done that stuff by myself at that point? I don't know. So going out and doing it with other people, it forced me to go out and do these things with other people. And the more I saw, the more I just fell in love with the city. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice. And what did you actually do for work then?
So I was still working online. I was in Lisbon working for a school there. I was able to just work for them online. Still had Language for Life stuff, still had a few private students in the evenings. And because I'd done the CELTA, well, literally like that year, like earlier on that year, that opens up doors to all of the big schools, as I mentioned in the previous episode. So I did, there was a big school in Coimbra. I applied for it and I got a job with them. So now I've got like working with 2 schools again and doing private stuff. So no, I had a really good schedule.
Oh, fantastic. And as we know, obviously, you've been in Portugal a little while now. I believe you started actually learning Portuguese and started lessons.
Yes, yeah, so, as I said, I started with one of these big schools, and they also did Portuguese courses for foreigners. I'd been there a couple of months, 2 months maybe, and I just asked. I don't know if I've mentioned this in one of the previous episodes. A quote from my grandmother: "If you don't ask, you don't get." So I asked. I was like, "Oh, you do courses? Can teachers join the courses? What's the situation? Like, do we get a discount?" Being a little bit cheeky. And they just said, "No, teachers get it for free." I was like, "Nice, cool." I was like, "Sign me up." So I did. They were just starting a new sort of like really beginner's course because I hadn't started learning in Lisbon. And for anybody that knows Lisbon, especially for any Portuguese people that are listening that live in Lisbon, they know it's become such a multicultural city. It's actually quite hard to find Portuguese people who speak Portuguese, even people from Lisbon. During COVID, it's hard to mix and mingle and practice. So this was the first time that I really started to learn Portuguese, really started to practice and study. So yeah, I was enjoying it. And again, just trying to fit that in around my schedule. But yeah, I was really enjoying it. It was really nice to start learning the language.
No, fantastic. Well, the fact that the financial burden's taken away, great.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
So obviously that's a good thing. But did it feel like you was connecting a little bit more to the people in Portugal in the place?
Definitely. But, it's not like I was going out and, my Portuguese is a decent level. I recently did an exam, but I can't talk about, the current environmental crisis or the geopolitics. I can't have these deep, in-depth conversations with people. But just being able to go to a cafe or a restaurant, I'm clearly not Portuguese. So when people see that you're actually trying to speak and you're trying to practice, it does help you connect with them. Because, I would go to like the same cafes and stuff and same bars, same restaurants. And when people see you regularly and that you're trying to speak Portuguese, you do feel that bit of a connection. So again, that's really nice. Everything's really going really, really well. And I don't know if I mentioned this before about learning Italian, but I remember my problem with learning Italian was I was trying to speak perfectly. So because I was thinking about it so much in my head, trying to construct the perfect sentence, which is crazy because as a teacher, I don't strive for perfection in my students because that's ridiculous. It's not realistic. Whereas Italian, I wanted to speak it perfectly without a single mistake, which was holding me back. Whereas with Portuguese, I was a lot looser with it, a lot less worried about, is that a mistake or what word do I use? I was just trying more. And because of that, my progress was much faster. So yeah, it felt great.
Oh, no, good. Again, it's that feeling inside of actually starting to connect with the people.
Yeah, and interact, yeah.
Definitely. And like you say, the fact that they can see you at least trying and making the effort is fantastic. Yeah. Now, obviously, it all sounds like sunshine and rainbows, but as we've learnt in many of the episodes, it's not.
Something's going to go wrong.
So, obviously, I believe it wasn't, there were some complications, should I say, with city life.
Yeah.
Some challenges.
Yeah, it was. And, of course, when I went to view the apartment, so I said, I'm on this beautiful street, but it turns out that main street is a tourist hotspot, and it's just busy anyway, even for locals. But I remember when I viewed the apartment, there wasn't all that much noise around, and I didn't pick up on it or whatever because I was excited about the apartment. But I soon quickly realized just like how much is going on in the city. As I said, it's a student city, it belongs to them. So there's always things happening, festivals, and when they start the year, when they finish the year, which again is cool. I never had a problem with the students. The main problem for me was buskers. So on that street, because I said there's so many people going up and down, there's so many tourists day in, day out, it's a hotspot for buskers. So on that street, there was an accordion player, a saxophonist, there was a keyboard player, quite often people playing guitar or some other instrument. And I had these guys pretty much within 50 meters of my apartment all day, every single day. They started at 10 a.m. and we're supposed to, because I think like literally there's some kind of law or something that says you can't start until 10 a.m. because you could time it with your watch. 9:59, pretty quiet. 10 o'clock, boom, accordion, saxophone, guitar, keyboard, all at once. And they just start at 10 o'clock and they don't stop.
Was it playing in sync?
I wish like it just started a band or something, but they were just playing their own random music all day, every day, even on a Sunday. You'd wake up wanting a lie in, can't get a lie in on a Sunday. Even when it was absolutely hammering it down with rain, still have a guy playing saxophone. There's nobody on the street to donate money because it's torrential rain. Still, it was saxophone. And let me tell you something. I don't know, when you've heard the song Despacito, 20 times a day by 4 different instruments. Have you ever heard Despacito on the accordion?
I can't say.
No. Well, I heard it 20 times a day. And it was funny. There was some times where it would, I would hear it and my heart would just sink. And then there were other days where I would hear it and I would sing it and and I was like, no, don't do that. Like it was unbearable. And of course, the landlord, when I was looking at the place, he's not going to tell me, oh, by the way.
I hope you like Despacito.
Yeah, I hope you like it because you're going to hear it a lot. He doesn't tell you like, there's going to be a lot of noise. Because of course, I'm not going to move in, right? But, so yeah, I just kind of had to put up with that. Like I said, the students and all of whatever they were up to never bothered me once because I knew the city belonged to them, right? But I just didn't feel like the city belonged to an accordion player or a saxophonist playing Despacito.
I just love it if every time he was showing the apartment, he just started whistling it going up the stairs. Opening the door. Here you go, what do you think?
Putting like a subliminal message in, like, you're going to hear it.
Because he knows full well what's going to happen.
So yeah, that quickly became a challenge, let's say. Yeah. But I wasn't just going to move out because, there's some noise outside. So sometimes I just had to grin and bear it. But some days were really difficult to put.
Should have just got the workman's headphones, like a noise cancelling.
Where were you 3 years ago?
With some the jackhammer thing. It's gone to a construction site. How much are they? Can I buy them?
But yeah, that was the biggest challenge of where I was living.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now, as we all know, obviously, Language for Life, a big part. Obviously, like you say, you're fully behind it. And obviously, you are currently working at obviously school just to subsidise yourself, kind of thing. And you've had your fun, and obviously started to get around the city, get friends and stuff like that, make connections. What was going on with Language for Life?
So I was getting more private students. It's not what it is today, of course. It's taken a few years to get to where it is today. But, I was getting a lot more, because I had 2 years of having private students, so I've got more private students who can then spread the message onto other people. So there's a lot more kind of word of mouth happening, which I think, again, we've mentioned in a previous episode, how valuable, if not the most valuable thing in any business, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a lot more of that happening. I was just getting emails randomly from people that I didn't know who they were. It was just, oh, hi, Ken, such a body gave me your email address. They said to get in touch. I'm looking at having English lessons. I was thinking, wow, this is really cool. This is working. It's progress. It's slow progress, but it's progress nonetheless. And yeah, that just felt great. Like, I'm doing this thing and it's going in the right direction. It's getting to where I want it to be. So yeah, getting more private students that way was good.
Oh, good. And it's good that, like you say, it's branching out.
Exactly.
And again, it's all good when it's word of mouth because it's all been positive stuff. Mm-hmm. They've had those conversations, and hopefully a few other people have been listening in and get in contact at some point, and maybe they have. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, that always comes in with some issues as well. What kind of issues did you start coming across?
Well, this is when you start to realise, a lot of teachers will always have extra private lessons, a couple of private students, but their focus is they work for a school full time and we have a few private students. So if somebody cancels, it's fine. But when you're kind of relying on this, or you're trying for this to become your only source of income, you're trying to build a business, you start to learn of all these, like you said, these little challenges and things that I'd never considered. There was one time throughout the year, I had about 7 or 8 people, all different people. They're all at the right level to put them into a group. So I think like literally by the end of one week, Friday evening, I remember I was buzzing because it's like I've got 7 or 8 private students in a group that I've organized. They've found me. I've organized this group. They're all in. They're ready to start Monday.
Mm-hmm.
By Sunday afternoon, I think 5 of them had emailed me to say, I'm sorry, Kane, I can't continue because I've got these work commitments, or it's not the right time for me now, which again is all fair enough. But that means that group couldn't start because I had 3 people, and it's just not viable. I'd done it before in the years 1 and 2 in Lisbon, when I was in Lisbon, first and second year. I can't just have 3 students, because if I start and one of them does drop out, because again, it's not uncommon for someone to drop out of the course during the year.
Yes.
So I went from having 7 to 8 students, 2 days later, no group. So you get incredible highs of, wow, it's happening. I'm making it happen, to it no longer exists. So yeah, again, another challenge. It is tough. I mean, anybody who owns any business, whatever it is, they'll understand how tough it is.
Yeah, especially when you think it's guaranteed coming in. And again, the start of something, getting the groups. I know you have your privates and things like that as well, but the group, it's getting groups that is going to make you feel more of it's coming alive, Language for Life.
And also because they'd contacted me.
Yeah.
It's not like I'd been spending months trying to find people. These people had contacted me. They wanted English lessons. They had told me about their motivation, their dedication, the reasons for them wanting lessons. So I'm just thinking, this is a shoo-in. Like, this is absolute guaranteed. But things quickly change.
The highs and lows of a business.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and I think it's the quote that you have said, but you thought like you invented the wheel.
Oh, my God. Some of the things that I do. So as I said, I'd started Portuguese lessons. But in the lessons, I wasn't getting enough speaking practice. Like, I'd been a teacher. I've been a teacher for a long, long time. Speaking practice is one of the most, if not the most important thing, and one of the things that we really focus on at Language for Life. It's already teaching grammar and vocabulary. That's great. But then a teacher will say, okay, go and practice. Where? With who? You want me to just stop a stranger and say, oh, excuse me, would you give me 30 minutes so I can speak Portuguese with you and you correct? It's not going to happen, right? It needs to happen in the lesson. So because I wasn't getting that speaking practice, I contacted a Portuguese friend, who had learned English but had stopped. So I had a good level of English. And I sent her an email, I think before Christmas. I was like, what do you think about like doing like a language exchange, So we meet online for an hour because she lives in Lisbon. So now I'm in Coimbra. Said 30 minutes we speak in English, so you get practice speaking English. You can keep up with your English because she needs English sometimes for a job. And I can practice Portuguese, so you can help me. So I get that speaking practice, that valuable speaking practice that I need. She loved the idea. So after Christmas, I said, well, it's Christmas, let's start after when things have died down in the new year. So we started doing that. And again, I saw my Portuguese just really, really, really start to improve within a few months. And then because I've got a lot of students, people who are learning English want the same thing. They want to practice English. And now because I'm meeting a lot more foreigners, Brits, Americans, other foreigners who are in Portugal, they want to improve their Portuguese. So literally a light bulb went off in my head and I'm thinking, I've got all these students that want to have speaking practice. I've got all of these foreigners that want Portuguese practice. I was like, I've just invented language exchange. Like that, there you go. If I had a microphone, I'd drop it. Of course, you know that was already a thing. Who knew? Who knew somebody else had invented language exchange? But I was just so excited by this idea because, as I said, I'd been teaching for a long, long time. I'd never heard of anything like this. Seriously, like none of my students in the past, and I've had thousands and thousands of students from all over the world, none of them had ever mentioned, oh, I do a language exchange. So I literally thought, this is it. I've cracked it. Like, I'm going to patent this, right? I'm going to get a patent on this, right? A patent. And I've just invented something. Yeah, and I got carried away with it, but I thought it was going to be massive.
Nobody else is going to learn a language through anybody else, all through Language for Life. Everybody in the world.
Basically.
Because everyone wants language exchange.
Because I just saw like, okay, well, Duolingo has its thing. And I thought, oh my God, Language for Life, this is going to be our thing, you know? Yeah.
And I'm kind of speechless, to be honest with you.
Especially because you know what happens for the next couple of years.
But again, just listening at your initial thoughts of this.
I still, even now, when I talk about it, I still like, oh my God, that was amazing. I'm so excited. I'm like, how did that not work?
Well, again, we'll talk about that in
a
future episode.
Language for Life is starting to build, but nothing's been tested yet. Next episode, we'll see what happens when it really gets put into practice.
Not been listening to it. I had a conversation with myself.
Basically, yeah. You're still doing the language exchange.
Me, Ghana.
I was thinking about language exchange and thinking, how the hell did that not work out?